geared towards his white nationalism. And we think that's kind of the point, that if you're going to have someone who has been labeled by the Southern Poverty Law Center a white nationalist who has argued things that could be the grounds for, political, social, civil unrest against people of color and women and the working class, then I would think it's pretty important that you engage with those ideas head on. And instead of, trying to forget the fact that he said these things, bring that up, make that an important part of the dialogue, because it defines who it doesn't completely define him, but it defines who he is. It's part of him, and you can't reject that any more than you can reject anything else he says.
Do you think it's okay that Harvard invited him?
So I will note, the college did not invite him, the administration did not invite him. He was invited by a recognized but independent student organization called the Harvard College Open Campus Initiative. So we think that this event is wrong. We think this event should not happen. That does not mean that we don't think that Charles Murray should ever be invited to campus. We really want to emphasize that this event has erased his white supremacy and has failed to critically engage in a dialogue and has thus given him a platform to kind of say what he wants to say unchecked. However, if Open Campus Initiative was really dedicated to free speech, they could have organized a panel discussion or a debate with other faculty members, other sociologists, other researchers who could directly engage with him in a critical way on the spot. That's what we would like to see. That's the only place, and this is speaking for myself, that's the only time I would want to see Charles Murray on campus, is when he is not just allowed to say what he wants to say unchecked, but is actually critically engaged with.
So what do you think is the most productive way of conducting your protest without, interrupting their right to free speech?
Of course. So definitely we want to make sure that we don't harm anyone, we don't disrupt anyone, we don't make anyone uncomfortable, physically uncomfortable. That said, we do want to critically challenge the people who are in this line and let them know exactly what's going on. So we're going to be reading multiple quotes from Charles Murray himself, the things he said about women and people of color. We're going to have multiple student speakers speaking up about how they've been personally impacted. And then, and this is I think the most important part of what we're doing, the panel discussion is really productive. We have 3 really distinguished Harvard faculty members talking about their own research, their own journeys in academia, and their own coming across Charles Murray and other white nationalism and white supremacy in their own work.
Did you invite anybody to speak any differently to your panel? Because you have a panel going on to rebut Charles Murray.
This will be the last question.
So we don't think that's necessary because that's what they're doing. They're already providing that. We want to provide an alternative one to theirs.
So they're providing a forum for this man to speak, and you're providing an alternative one.
Yes.
But you don't want to have anybody speak at yours, like you said?
What do you mean, anybody speak at?
Well, who's speaking at your panel?
Professors Caroline Light, Michelle Lamont, and Walter Johnson.
Okay. So do any of those, do they share the same viewpoint as Mr. Murray?
No, they're not white supremacists.
They're not? So you think do you think Charles Murray is a white supremacist?
I think that he's been labeled a white nationalist by the Southern Poverty Law Center, yes, he has.
Do you believe everything the Southern Poverty Center pumps out?
No, but in this case, I have read some of the things he's written. He has said that there is genetic differences between the working class and the upper class, between welfare mothers and quote-unquote normal mothers.
The working class and the upper class, like who?
I'm sorry, I
was he talking about?
Thank you.
Did you see his last tweet about the police escort? Well, there we go.